Students, it's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's class. So in previous lecture we have studied how the p-type and n-type semiconductors are made by mixing or doping the impurity atoms. Now today we will study about p-n junction. Okay, this is very important topic of this chapter. So listen it clearly that how the p-n junctions are formed, what processes are involved in this, and how we can use them. Okay, how they are applied in our so many devices. When p-type semiconductor is created in one region and n-type semiconductor in the other region of a semiconductor crystal, the boundary between the two regions is called p-n junction. So suppose we are having one pure semiconductor. Okay, this is one pure semiconductor. We divide it in half part. This part is made n-type semiconductor by mixing pentavalent atoms. This time is made, this side is made p-type semiconductor by mixing trivalent atoms. Okay, so this side become n-type, this side become p-type. Between n-type and p-type there will be one boundary. This boundary is only called the p-n junction. Okay, so once again, in a semiconductor, one side is made n-type, other side is made p-type. Between n and p one boundary is there. This boundary is called junction. Okay, p-n junction. A p-n junction is the basic building block of the semiconductor devices. Okay, and p-n junction actually controls what is the significance if someone asks you. So the significance of p-n junction is that it actually controls the movement of charge carriers from one region to another. This unique feature of p-n junction makes it very useful in fabricating most semiconductor devices. Okay. Now how we can form a p-n junction? So when a p-type semiconductor is created in close contact with an n-type semiconductor, the arrangement is called p-n junction. Okay. So here you can see one semiconductor in figure 9.14. At one side we have on the right hand side we have made it n type. On the left side of this semiconductor is made p type. So between n and p you can see one region that is called p-n junction. Okay, and we have so many kind of different technologies to make p-n junction. Okay, one technology is called fused junction technique. So in this what we do, in this technology an aluminum film is kept in the water of n-type semiconductor and the combination is then heated to a high temperature. As a result, aluminum fuses into silicon and produces p-type semiconductor. So a p-n junction is formed there. Okay, an aluminum film is kept on the wafer of n-type semiconductor. Okay, and there the p-type semiconductor is also formed. So here a p-n junction is formed there. Using the same technique we can fuse phosphorus into a p-type semiconductor to get a p-n junction. Now let's discuss the processes which occur during formation of p-n junction. So we know that in n-type semiconductor the electrons are the majority charge carriers, okay, and holes are the minority charge carriers. Similarly, in p-type semiconductor the holes are the majority charge carriers and the electrons are the minority charge carriers. One thing we also have to remember that electrons are negatively charged and holes are positively charged. Okay, so let me explain you with this figure. So actually what happened when we form p and n type on one semiconductor. Okay, this is one semiconductor in which at one side n type is there, at other side p type is there. Okay, and suppose this is the boundary. So what happened? And from n side, at n side the majority charge carriers are electrons which are negatively charged. On p type, holes are majority charge carriers which are positively charged. So when n and p type conductors are created in one conductor, so what happened? Whatever electrons and holes are there near the junction, okay, this is the junction, and on the both side of junction, this side electrons will be there, this side holes will be there. So they get attracted with each other because electrons are having negative charge, holes are having positive charge. So they both get attracted with attracted towards each other. So what happened? The electrons start moving towards p type and the holes starts moving towards n type. So when they are moving, when they are passing the junction, some electron and hole get diffused with each other. Okay, they combine. When electron and hole combine, they become neutral because electron is negative, hole is positive. When negative and positive combine with each other, so they become neutral particle. Okay, so first of all, when p and n type semiconductors are created in one semiconductor, p and n region are created. So first of all, electron drift will be there. Okay, electron drift and hole drift will be there, and then electron and hole get diffused with each other. When they get diffused, they make neutral particles. That neutral particles get accumulated here near the p-n junction. Okay, now what happened? Initially, electron and holes, they get attracted towards each other because in between them no barrier was there. But now what happened? When they recombine, they created so many neutral particle, and all that neutral particle they accumulate here in the junction. Now these neutral particles behave like a wall and they don't allow further motion of electron towards p type and hole towards n type. They stop the motion of electron and hole. Okay, so here that neutral particles behave like a barrier. Okay, and this region where that barriers are there, it is called depletion region. Okay, so this region where the neutral particles exist and they don't allow more electrons and holes to move towards each other to get recombined. Okay, so this region from here to here, this region is called depletion region. So these are the two processes. First is drift and second is diffusion, which takes place during the formation of p-n junction, and because of these two processes one wall is created there, which is called, and the region where that wall is there which is working like a barrier, it is called depletion region. Okay, so here I have explained you how different processes occur. Now let's see the definition of that different processes. So here you can see the motion of the majority charge carriers across the junction due to concentration gradient produces diffusion current. Second thing you can, okay, that was the first process. Second process, the small charge region on either side of the junction which gets devoid of free charge carriers and has only immobile ion is called depletion region, which I have explained you. When electron and hole get diffused with each other, then neutral particles are created. Okay, that neutral particles are immobile, they cannot move, they themselves cannot move, and they don't allow other particles also to move, so they are called depletion region. Okay, and the thickness of depletion region is of the order of a fraction of a micrometer only. Okay, then third process here is the motion of the minority charge carriers across the junction under the influence of the electric field developed in the depletion region produces drift current. Okay, in junction what happened, majority charge carriers created that depletion region, but their minority charge carriers are also there na. So because of minority charge carriers, that is hole on the n type and electrons at the p type, because of them a drift current also flows. Then what is equilibrium state of p-n junction? See, initially the diffusion current is large because electron and hole, they are moving towards each other and they are getting diffused with each other. So initially the diffusion current is large and the drift current is small. Diffusion current is because of majority charge carriers and drift current is because of minority charge carriers. So diffusion current is large and drift current is small initially. As the diffusion continues, the width of the depletion region increases. Because of because of diffusion, what happened? Neutral particles are created there, because of which depletion region created there. So as the diffusion continues, so width of the depletion region increases. As a result, the strength of the electric field across the junction also increases. Hence, drift current increases. The process continues till the diffusion current becomes equal to the drift current. This is called the equilibrium state of a p-n junction. So what is the equilibrium state of p-n junction? When the diffusion current becomes equal to the drift current, that is called equilibrium state of a p-n junction. At this stage, there is no net current across the junction and the potential difference across the junction becomes maximum. The polarity of this potential is such that it tends to stop the movement of majority charge carriers, as I have told you already. Okay, it stops the movement of majority charge carriers. Okay, and the potential which is developed in that depletion region is called barrier potential, because depletion region works like a barrier. So that potential is called barrier potential. Okay, and is 0.3 for gallium diode and 0.7 for 7 volt for silicon diode. Okay, here figure 9.16, this figure, it is showing the energy band diagram, for depletion region. Okay, sorry, it is showing the variation of potential across the junction. Now, what is diode? When p and n type semiconductors are enclosed in a single, p and n junctions are enclosed in a semiconductor, it is called diode. Okay, a semiconductor diode is a p-n junction which is enclosed in a casing with a lead coming out from each region. Okay, so here you can see one lead is coming out from p region, lead is coming out from n region. Okay, these two leads are connected to battery and they are used for different purposes. Okay, these two leads are connected to external voltage across the junction, that means battery only. External voltage means battery. So it is a two terminal and one junction device. So what is a diode? Diode is a p-n junction, okay, which is provided two metallic contact which we call lead, and we can say that diode is a two terminal. Okay, one terminal is on p side, one terminal is on n side, two terminal one junction device. Okay, between p and n one junction is there, so two terminal one junction device. And you can see the symbolical represent of p-n junction diode. Okay, so it is the symbolical representation. On the right hand side you can see a vertical line, it is showing n side. On the left hand side you can see a triangular shape, it is showing p type. Okay, so it is p-n junction diodes symbol. Now let's move to biasing of p-n junction diode. Okay, so what is biasing? When the two terminals of a junction diode is connected to external volt, so in which manner they are being connected? Okay, that that decide its biasing. So the connection of terminal with external voltage supply is called biasing, and biasing is of two type. So here the definition is written: the arrangement of applying an external potential difference across a p-n junction is called biasing. A junction diode can be biased in the following two way. First is forward biasing and second is reverse biasing. Okay, so in forward biasing what we do? In forward biasing, see, here you can see one figure. Okay, in this figure, n type, okay, n side, the terminal from n type is connected to negative terminal of battery, and p type is connected to positive terminal of the battery. Okay, when we connect p type to positive and n type to negative terminal of battery, it is called forward biasing. Okay, in this biasing what happened, why we call it forward? Because in n type semiconductor we are having electrons. Here you can see these are electrons. Okay, electrons are negatively charged particle, and here we have connected this terminal of n to negative terminal of battery. Electrons are already negative. This terminal is also negative. So the electron present in n type, they will get repelled by this negative terminal of battery, and because of repulsion from battery they start moving towards junction. Okay, they start moving towards the junction. Similar thing happen on the p side. Okay, p side is connected to positive terminal of battery. In p region, the majority charge carriers are holes which are having positive charge. So the positive holes and this positive terminal of battery, okay, they both are positive. So the holes get repelled with the positive terminal, and because of repulsion from positive terminal, they also starts moving towards the junction. Okay, so in forward biasing what happened? Electron and hole, they both are moving towards junction. That's why this is called forward biasing. Okay, so here you can see the definition is written: a junction diode is said to be forward biased when its p side is connected to the positive terminal and the n side is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. And I have told you that what happened. So here what happened, when the electron and hole, they both start moving toward junction, so the uh, depletion region, that region starts getting reduced. Okay, that barrier starts the barrier starts getting reduced. That depletion region, width of depletion region decreases. Okay, so in forward biasing what happened? Electrons are moving towards junction, holes are also moving towards junction. Okay, so if the sufficient voltage is applied from external source, so that electron and hole, they cross the junction. Okay, and they start moving towards each other. The hole start moving toward p type, and the electrons starts moving towards p type, and the holes starts moving towards n type. Okay, so this time, because electrons and holes are moving towards each other, so the current starts flowing here. Okay, the process under forward biasing, in which the majority carriers leave their respective regions, cross the depletion region and enter the region on other side of the junction, is called minority carrier injection. Okay, as a result, the concentration of minority carriers on each site at the junction boundary increases and becomes much greater than their concentration at locations away from the junction. Because of this concentration gradient, the injected electron from the p side of the junction is diffused to the other end of the p region. Similarly, the injected holes on the n side of the junction edge diffused to other end of the n region. So here the here the strong current starts flowing there. Okay, so this is all about forward biasing. In next lecture we will discuss about reverse biasing and some different applications of this PN diode. So this is it for today's lecture. See you in next lecture. Till then, goodbye, take care, do some productive work, and the most important thing, be healthy, be safe.